Welcome back to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, everyone. We are getting ready for the second women's semifinal and the final match here on Saturday of this FIVB Beach Volleyball World Tour 3-star stop between Canada and Japan. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Grayson Knutson. Pleased to be joined in the broadcast booth by Everett DeLorme. You can see the weather conditions. It's a gorgeous summer day here in Edmonton, 23 degrees Celsius, still at 8 o'clock local time. The officials for this match are, Suzanne Lowry from the United States. She will be the head official up on the stand, and down on the sand is Sergio Silva Duarte from Nicaragua. This has been a match that I know a lot of the fans here have been looking forward to. Well, every time these two hit the court, the recently crowned world champions of Pavan and Melissa for Canada, Everett, and I'm sure we'll hear a big roar once they get introduced, but we'll see the opponents first. A Japanese team, Akiko Hasegawa wears number 1, wearing number 2 is Azusa Futami. They survived a lengthy quarterfinal match against a fellow Japanese team here earlier today.
Yeah, absolutely, and they survived a lengthy second-round matchup against the Canadian twins, Megan and Nicole McNamara, last night, just as we were, trying to shutter things down before the third storm of the day hit. And you know what? They've fought through all the way through. That battle with the McNamaras last night was an absolute bloodbath, going back and forth. And you know what? Even in pool play, they did a good job of winning their pool, making it all the way through to the second round. And going last night, they win the first 23-21, lose the second 25-23, and finally pull out the third 15-8. It was a battle with the twins, and as you just mentioned, another three-setter. This morning against their own team. So this is a team that knows how to battle, but on the other side of the net, you have the defending world champions, the number 1 team in the world, Sarah Pavan, Melissa Humane-Perez, and let's see how we kick things off.
As Melissa going down the line for the opening point of this match.
Yeah, you know what? And Canada is going to want to look and want to use their athleticism, their height, their strength to really do a good, really take control of this match. There's no doubt that Japan does not match up with them physically. And so they're going to need to control the pace of the match right from the get-go.
Little tip there, nicely played by Futami, and Japan is on the board here as the teams trade points to open things up.
Yeah, good little chip there, and they're going to have to play off the block of Sarah Pavan. We know they're not going to be able to swing hard at it. We know they're not going to be able to battle with them physically, so they're going to need to play that small game. They're going to need to play the chips in and around. They're going to need to keep Melissa thinking and on her toes. Fortunately for the Japanese, Melissa's one of the best readers in the game, and she's so natural back there, just stays so calm and is able to track almost anything down.
Melissa's going to get a chance to swing at this ball, and it's well dug up there by Hasegawa, who has a go of her own. That's too tight to the net, but Canada was able to keep it up only briefly, and Japan will earn another point here thanks to Futami at the net.
Yep, a little bit of a scramble play there, and unable to keep it alive with Sarah. Melissa's set was a little too tight to the net, and she kept it a little bit off. Even if you spray it to the outside, Sarah's the lefty on the wrong side. She could cut that one off. But next play here.
Well, they just got a little caught in the sand, I think, did Hasegawa. Couldn't quite get to that ball that Futami popped up, and the Canadians will earn a point.
Yeah, Melissa goes for the jumbo over top of Futami, and she gets a hand on it, but not anywhere close to Hasegawa to pick that one up.
Melissa serving here. Futami through the hands of Pavan, and it's going to fall to the sand. Another point for Japan.
Yeah, Japan doing good here to stay in line in the first early sets. And we see there she's not fully pressed in, not fully penetrating with the inside right hand. And she's really got to drop that to take away that seam, because we know that's the shot that Japan loves to hit, that low inside seam.
Pavan, lots of power there, and Futami's unable to block that one cleanly. So it's a point for Canada as the two teams switch sides here, 4-3 for the world champions.
Now you see there, Melissa's just setting that ball nice and tight, because realistically, there's very few players on the World Tour who can even compete with Sarah up at the net, and neither of these Japanese girls are one of them. As she goes down the line there.
It's in. An ace serve for Canada. Sarah Pavan.
Suzanne Lowry on the stand there, making that her own call. She's definitely one of the refs I wouldn't argue with. She's a boss up there.
And that's just tipped over by Japan. They find the space back in that corner for a point.
Yeah, good job there. Good vision. Putting that ball where Melissa isn't. It's this veteran team of 33 years old for Hasegawa, and Futami is 27.
Here comes Pavan. Little roll shot this time. Hasegawa keeps it alive. Now she goes up to attack. Off the hands and down for a point for Japan.
You know what? That's how Japan is going to have to score points. They're going to have to swing at the hands of Sarah Pavan. Not low where she's going to be able to slam them, but nice and high, as you see there that, you know, Hasegawa isn't going for court. She's going for hands all the way. If Sarah pulls away there, that ball is going way out.
Melissa going down the line. Big kill there for Melissa Humana Paredes.
Melissa just has such a quick draw. As you see, as she goes up, she looks around and sees that spot open down the line. Japan nowhere near.
Taking that second time was Hasegawa, but an opportunity opens up for Melissa. Not a lot on that, so another Japanese chance here. And they take full advantage, just finding the back line there. No Canadian in sight.
Yeah, it's definitely a shot that Melissa's going to want back. Not the best shot by her. She picks it up on two and just kind of rolls it right at Hasegawa, and they put it away. They take advantage.
Neither team really able to establish much momentum at the moment. Back and forth we go. Service error, 7-6 Canada in front. Pavan the serve. Tommy over top, and there is Melissa.
No one.
And she can't quite find the back line, going a little bit long there. So Japan earned the point. It's 7-7. We'll switch sides once again.
Yeah, absolutely. Melissa's struggling a little bit early on here. That set, not where she wants it. She's already starting her approach, and it's getting set back behind her. So she's going to want that a little bit tighter to the net. So we'll see here if they can rectify that here as we move forward. All tied up at 7.
Tight to the net there, and Melissa got a real good swing on it, eluded the block, and it was unable to be dug up in the back.
Yeah, this is, you know what, this is a game where Melissa needs to be aggressive. She needs to go and swing out there. She can't just shoot. You know, if you're going to play that small ball game, Japan is going to be all over it. You need to be in a position to be able to take a good chew at the ball, put it in with some pace, and really go after it.
There's an ace serve from Melissa, as only able to come up with that was Futami.
Yeah, going on the inside of Futami and just not tracking it properly, spraying that one up and over the bleachers and behind. And they're keep on her too.
There's a second attack there from Hasegawa. Pavan put it over. Now Futami has a chance. Well dug up by Melissa. And a little pokey by Pavan. That's not blocked and falls to the floor.
Yeah, and you know what? You can see this often when maybe Melissa's offense isn't quite there. She finds ways to bring value to her team on defense. Just being absolutely everywhere there, making the good dig and putting a good spot for Sarah to put it away. And, you know, 3 points ago we were tied at 7-7. All of a sudden, Canada's got a 3-point spread.
Japan takes a timeout, pardon me, to just calm things down, talk a little strategy. You can see Hasegawa and Futami right there getting some water. We're at a time of the day in Edmonton where it's summer, but the sun is still fairly high in the sky. However, the court is east-west, and you're looking basically right into it. I know we are right now. I brought the shades. I don't think I've ever worn sunglasses broadcasting anything before. So,
you know, I unfortunately lost one of my contacts at the World Championships in Hamburg a couple of weeks ago, and, you know, came straight from Hamburg to Vancouver for the Open last week and now here, and I've been unable to pick up another pair of contacts, so I'm forced to use my glasses at the moment, which is why my cap is so down low, because I can barely see above the antenna right now with how strong that sun is.
It's right in the faces of the Canadian players at the moment, but it doesn't matter because Melissa splits the defense with a perfect serve.
You know what? In beach volleyball, we have a good side and we have a bad side. It always depends. Is it the sun? Is it the wind? You know, what is it? Right now, Mel and Sarah are on the bad side, and they're still scoring, and that always bodes well.
It's a good spot there for Japan to pick up a point, and that's also why they switch sides every 7 points, just to keep things as equal as possible in beach volleyball.
11-8 now for Canada.
Futami is the server. She has a unique serving style.
Oh, great eye there by Mel, as I thought that one was going to land in.
Very, very close.
And we're looking at the mark we're about now. It's about 3 inches from the sideline. Maybe less. 2.5.
Pavan the serve, and she just gives it right back. So 1 for 1 there.
Flimsy serve there by Pavan as we're heading into the technical timeout. And you can tell just by her face how unhappy she was with that serve. Before she even hit the sand, she was upset with it. You kind of just saw her dribble off her thumb into the net, but still holding a 12-8? Yeah, 12-9 lead right now are the Canadians.
I think it's the one thing that people who watch this sport maybe don't quite understand is that it's sand under your feet. Whether you're serving, whether you're jumping for a block or a hit, it's shifting constantly. It's tough to get that footing like you would in the indoor game. So, you know, you might be a little off balance. So there's so much more emphasis on hitting a serve, hitting the ball so clean.
Absolutely. And you know what? That is the first thing that indoor players have to get used to. They got to get used to that uneven surface. They got to get used to picking their feet up when they run. You know, you walk differently on the stand. You want to lead with the balls of your feet, so you're creating that padding as you walk. You really want to, you know, plant really hard when you're going to jump. It's definitely not as forgiving in the indoor where you've got, you know, nice expensive shoes to keep you stuck to the floor, and there's a nice hard surface to jump off of. So, you know, there's a reason that beach volleyball games are short, because you are tired by the end of it because you're working hard just to move in the sand.
No one.
Melissa's going to put this one over free. It was really short, but well dug up by Hasegawa. Now she has a chance, and she just pokies it into the back corner. Another point for Japan here, and they're within a couple. 12-10 the score for Canada.
Absolutely. We see here Hasegawa, she gets that ball really nicely, and Sarah Pavan doesn't go up. So, you know what? If you're not going to go up in that situation, you gotta peel off. You gotta provide something to your partner. So that one is a rare one where Sarah Pavan is going to get caught, and that's why Hasegawa had so much room to swing at.
Fortunately for the Canadian duo, Hasegawa put her serve wide, and so they have the ball back serving. It was Melissa, and another ace for Melissa, who's been serving very strong here in the opening set.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the Japanese team is on the bad side, and that's the second time she's aced Futami, sorry, down on the inside seam. And she's going to go right back to that serve again, and another tough pass there by Futami.
Real tough angle for Futami. She has to keep it in between the antenna, and at that angle, that's just really tough. So it will fall, and 15-10 is the score. Canada increasing their lead a little bit more now, with Melissa continuing to serve.
Melissa on a little run here as once again she goes at Futami, and she's not having a good time with it, but she's able to chip that one inside the block of Sarah Pavan and down.
Smart play there from Futami. She will go back to serve. Azusa Futami. Of course, we've talked a lot over the few matches we've broadcast here today about Tokyo 2020, and the pressure of these Japanese players must be facing to be the ones to represent their country in a home Olympics must be so great. And you see a number of Japanese teams at this event, and I'm sure many around the world, just trying to get points so they can be those countries, or those teams, pardon me.
Absolutely. 4 female teams competed here, with 1 in Portugal this same weekend. So you know that they're going real hard. And you know what? Beach volleyball, as much as we don't see it on the results in the real world tour, beach volleyball is actually a huge sport in Japan. They've got, you know, speaking to some of their media members in Hamburg, they've got a full-on magazine, and they sent a film crew to cover these matches around the world. And so, while they don't necessarily get the results on the World Tour, Japan is some of the best volleyball fans, bar none, in the world.
17-11 the score. The teams have switched sides once again. Canadians looking into the sun, although a cloud is coming in nicely for them as Melissa goes up, and that one's nicely dug by Hasegawa. A Hasegawa roll it. Pavan was there though. Now she's going to get a swing. Pavan the lefty.
Oh,
That's nicely played by Hasegawa. It's an overbump though, and another chance for Canada. This time she took something off of it, and it fooled the Japanese defenders. And it's another point.
Such a smart shot there by Sarah Pavan. You know, Hasegawa's been made a couple of great digs in the back row, and we see Futami pull off the net, and she's going to hit it to that seam right between the two players. So you know that naturally both players are going to be diving in. So even if she does get it up, Futami, Hasegawa's going to have a real hard time to get there.
Futami, little poke of her own that finds the court.
Yeah, she was going for that shot right off the bat. You can see as she lines up, she's seeing that open space off the left shoulder, of Sarah Pavan, and that's exactly where she puts it, just out of reach of the Kitchener native.
Pavan plays it up for Melissa, blocked by Futami. Nicely done at the net by the Japanese number 2.
Great job there by Futami to recognize that Mel was in a bit of a tough situation. The ball was a little bit low, a little bit behind her. She only had one shot, and that was to go low cross court, and she shut that down.
Long run here for Pavan to pop it up. Tough angle for Melissa. She got a lot on that, though. Futami kept it alive and poked it deep. Pavan takes it second time. Nice diving stab from Hasegawa, and she gets a point out of it.
Hasegawa just stretching out for that one, and I'm going to tell you now, that's definitely not what she was planning to do, but she's going to take the point nonetheless. Good job there by Sarah and Mel to put Sarah up on 2, and Hasegawa was just trying to keep that ball alive, maybe putting it into the net for Futami to put up, but she gets that one to fall on the Canadian side, and they're slowly pulling back here.
The old dig kill works out perfectly for Japan. This one's tough off the net. Melissa keeps it alive. Canada will have to play defense, though, and Futami finds a spot once again. So nice little string of points here for Japan, and Canada's going to take a timeout here.
Absolutely. You know, we talked about the last match about Australia wanting to engage in rallies, and that's exactly what Japan is doing here. They know that if they're going to play a straight side-out game against Mel and Sarah, they're not going to win that. So they're going to try to make it a little bit dirty, a little bit messy, so that they can use their superior ball control in kind of bang-bang, a little disorderly situations.
We'll see how much they can pull back. Talk a little bit about it in the indoor game too, is when you get so far behind, sometimes you're not looking to gain momentum to come back and, pull off a miraculous victory. In this set, you're looking to do something for the next set. Is that kind of where we are now, or is there still Japanese hope here in set number 1?
Oh, they're only down by 3 right now, so if they can keep, a couple of good serves, maybe a good play, even Sarah and Mel get a couple of points, they've still got some chances. At this point, it's just 1 point at a time. If you get 2 steals for each one of the other team's side out, you're going to be at neck and neck, getting to 20-20. So that's really what they're gonna be looking for, and they're gonna try to put Mel and Sarah in tough situations. They're not necessarily gonna go for the ace, but they're gonna try to put them in tough situations where they can't be in system. Not like this, though.
Melissa goes down the line, but she couldn't find it that time, so an error gives the Japanese another point. They're within 2 here, 18-16.
Yeah, Mel and Sarah just kind of missing a little bit of that rhythm. They haven't really been too much in system. They've been scrambling a little bit. And sometimes you just need to calm down and make the easy play.
Opportunity here. Nobody goes up to block against Melissa, and she crushes it, finding the back tape.
You know what? When in doubt, just swing hard, and that's exactly what Mel did. There was no one in front of her. She saw all the space down the line. It doesn't matter that Hasegawa had shifted over because she was just going to swing hard, and she's rewarded for it.
19-16 the score. It is Melissa serving. Hasegawa blocked by Pavan. Second chance for Japan. Took it on the second ball too. Off the net, they're still scrambling. That's wonderful from Hasegawa to play it at that angle, but unfortunately for them, Pavan finds the line with a little pokey, and we have a set point here for Canada.
Hasegawa there like a crab in the sand, just crawling and gets that one over. But when you've got 6'5" Sarah Pavan in front of you, it's going to be hard to stop her time and time again.
Hasegawa defensively has been very, very good here in this opening set, but right now Melissa and Pavan just a little bit too strong offensively. Futami goes up, Now a chance for Melissa, and she gets the point that clinches the opening set for Canada, 21-16 here in Edmonton.
Great job there by Mel to have the vision to see Futami pulling off the net. And that's what we teach players. Hey, if you see someone pulling on you, you swing at their face.
It's not a very nice thing, but I mean, it works.
You know what? It's funny because yesterday when I did an interview with Casey Patterson, who lost to Ben and Grant this morning from the U.S., he goes, you know what? Yeah, it seems to me like Canadians are getting a little un-Canadian these days. You know what? They're starting to really go for things. And you know what? Mel and Sarah, a perfect example, the world champions. They're not letting anyone step in their way.
Absolutely. Very exciting to have, for the first time, a Canadian pair win a world championship in beach volleyball. And I know it definitely turned some heads here in Canada going, oh, we're good at this sport too. Like, just add another one that, you know.
You know what? Funnily enough, Mel and Sarah weren't even the top-ranked Canadian team heading into the World Championships.
Too, yeah.
You know, Heather Bansley, Brandy Wilkerson. They were ranked #1 in the world for the majority of this year. There was a time heading into the 2017 season, or sorry, heading into the 2018, no, 19 season, this season, where Canada was ranked 1-2 in the world. So, as we talked about earlier, Nicole and Megan McNamara, they were the MVPs of the past two NCAA beach volleyball champions as the first pair for UCLA. So we may not seem like a beach volleyball country, but the two top countries right now in beach volleyball on the women's side is Canada, and on the men's side is Norway. So riddle me that.
A little bit confusing of more winter countries. Second set underway, open things up with a mistake from Canada. However, they rectify it on that one. Kill there for the Canadian duo, and we're tied at 1.
Yeah, Mel and Sarah, talking to them this morning, they were very happy about making this afternoon, making that quarterfinal win efficient. And it's all about efficiency in these long tournaments. You want to try to play the least amount of points as possible so you're staying fresh for that final game on Sunday.
That one drops in, well placed by Hasegawa. Nothing too, it's been just a long season, the beach volleyball season. You were in Hamburg. World Championships is a long event. You fly all the way back to North America to stop in Vancouver, stop in Edmonton. A lot of travel, a lot of grinding.
Yeah, and then these girls are going to be right away to the Tokyo 4-star. In beach volleyball, we use a star system. So the 1 stars are the lesser events, with the 5 stars being the biggest, the majors, if you will, if you're talking tennis terms. So there's 2 5 stars in the season. Stade, which happened just last weekend. Mel and Sarah finished with the 5th. And then the next one is Vienna, which isn't this upcoming weekend. They'll be in Tokyo, but the weekend after that.
It's a lot of travel for these athletes. Hasegawa with an opportunity here, blocked by Pavan, but a recycle opportunity for Japan. Another swing for Hasegawa. Melissa now trying to split the seam, couldn't do it. Another block, and Futami couldn't play it from her backside, and it's a Canadian point.
And that's such a good job blocking by Sarah Pavan, and it's very similar to the play that they won the World Championships on. You'll see here as she's getting set up, there's a tip coming from Hasegawa, and she just stays penetrated long enough. She stays patient, and just at the last minute, she's going to add that press and put that ball down.
Hasegawa puts it over top of the outstretched hands. I think it landed in. There was a touch either way, so it is a point for Japan.
They're going to call touch on that one, and Sarah doesn't agree, and you know what? Neither do I, as we've got a pretty good look of it. And, oh, yeah, you see on the replay there, too, she wasn't even close to that ball.
Hasegawa serve. Melissa cuts it down the line. Smart shot from Melissa Humana Paredes.
Oh, no. Humana Paredes, she is one of the best shooters in the world. She's got such good vision. She's so patient, and she can see that daylight. You know, if you only give her a ball width to put it, she's still going to be able to
find that ball width. 4-3 the score for Japan. The two teams have switched sides. The Canadian duo now looking into the sun. And that tip from Futami is going to be out of bounds, so another Canadian point.
You know, oddly enough, Japan has not done that well on the good side. Mel and Sarah have really taken advantage of their points when they're on the bad side, which just makes things easier.
Another serve here from Melissa. It's going to be Futami going up, blocked by Pavan, but another chance for Japan. This time, lots of space for Futami, and she rolls it into an area that Melissa can't dig it back up from.
Just a bit of hesitation there from Sarah Pavan on the peel. There, we saw them shift over there as Pavan is kind of stuck in no man's land, and Melissa's maybe a little bit too far over, and Futami was able to find that gap and go for it.
Melissa, nobody up at the net against her, but she was falling away a little bit and couldn't quite get it over top of the tape, and it falls back on the Canadian side.
And not the greatest set there by Sarah, but I find that Melissa's maybe trying to maybe just getting a little ahead of herself in her offense. Just needs to be a little bit more patient, see the set before she starts moving.
This is tight to the net. Nice pokey from Melissa to get it over the block and down.
So we saw there where Melissa was just a little bit more patient. The pass wasn't as good for Sarah. She was falling to her knees. So as Sarah's putting it up, Melissa's getting her feet to the ball, then jumping as opposed to jumping and trying to adjust in the air.
Futami just pops it up. Chance for Melissa. Oh, and she hammered it down, but it's well dug up, and another dig kill for Hasegawa.
Hasegawa has been watching a lot of tape on former world champion Lara Ludwig, apparently, as that's her second over-on-one kill of the game. Once again, I don't think she's trying to do that. She's just trying to save that ball and get it up. But hey, why not do both at once?
Legendary Alberta Pandas head coach Lori Eisler has a thing with her team that if they do get a dig kill like that during a game, she buys them a Slurpee.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure if they do that in the beach game with only 2 players, but because it's such a rarity in the indoor game. But and there's a little poke from Melissa and another point for Canada.
Wasn't it Lori Eisler's daughter who's the libero? If I was Janae, every time I got a chance, I'd be dumping it over. Just keep a tab how many Slurpees I'm owed.
7-5, or pardon me, 7-6 now. Japan is in front. And that one is going to go into the net. Little miss hit there from Futami. Maybe distracted by Pavan just sliding in front of her.
You know what? And these are the situations here that you have to take advantage of. You have the lead. You have an opportunity to steal. You got to take it. You can't, and especially against the defending world champs, you got to use that opportunity.
Tricky float serve there from Melissa. Hasegawa played it nicely, then pokies it over. Melissa to attack. It's off the fingertips of Futami and down for another Canadian point, and they now leapfrog in front, 8-7.
Absolutely, and this is where we're going to see the Canadians' physicality start to take over. It's been a long tournament already. It's been a long season, and for these Japanese girls right now, they're going all out just trying to stick with and trying to stay with the Canadian girls. And especially in those transition situations where the rally is getting a little bit longer, Canada will have the advantage.
Nice little slice there from Futami to find the line.
Yeah, tough pass there. But then she's going to go thumb down and just carve it. You know, it's not even a roll shot as you're just rolling it straight down. Not much pace, but a lot of control.
Melissa goes up. Hasegawa got there, but couldn't reel it back in to bring it in the neighborhood of Futami to keep it alive. So it's another Canadian point. 9-8 as we kind of just go back and forth here in set number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what we call side-out volleyball right now, where each team is getting a blow. One team is going to have to run away soon, though.
That one is off the block of Pavan, but it stays on the Canadian side and drops for a point.
Yeah, great shot there by Futami. And once again, she's going up and over of Sarah Pavan. Not trying to go up and over her per se, but just going at the tops of her hands where she can't get a good touch on the ball, and she's able to chip it off of it.
Melissa, Futami peeled off and dug it up. And that's an easy put away for Sarah Pavan. Just chips it into the open court. Both Japanese players were up tight to the net.
Absolutely. Just nice and relaxed as Pavan is up there. Hasegawa trying to save it, and she just putting it into the open court. And we're seeing the reaction of the Japanese player in between points, and they're starting to get real tired, real gassed, whereas the Canadian girls are still looking pretty fresh.
Futami goes up over top of the block, and it is in. Nicely placed shot once again by Futami.
Japan is doing a really good job right now at siding out off of serve receive, keeping those rallies as short as possible on their own side. Now they just have to try to make a steal to get this thing evened up.
Unfortunately, that's not going to help. It's into the net, so 11-10 Canada in front. And we'll go to the technical timeout here.